voice replace the zero voice when the following word starts with hamza. Therefore, an environment for using a helping voice will be created every time one uses a definite article. The purpose of this phonological rule is to provide a smooth transition from one word to the next. Generally speaking, this transition is governed by the following rules. 1. If the preceding voice is fatha, the helping voice is kasra. For example, هل الكتاب جديد? It becomes هل الكتاب جديد? Is the book new? 2. If the preceding voice is kasra, the helping voice is fatha. For example, هذا القلم من المكتب. It becomes هذا القلم من المكتب. It pencil from the office. 3. If the preceding voice is dhamma, the helping voice is dhamma. For example, لماذا قابلتم المديرة? It becomes لماذا قابلتم المديرة? Why did you meet the director? Adjectives. We learned earlier that adjectives in Arabic are usually placed after the noun they modify, and therefore they agree in terms of number, gender, definiteness and indefiniteness, and case with that noun. The comparative and superlative degrees of the adjectives are formulated following the pattern أفعل. They should be treated as details, which mean nomination and accusative marker for genitive case. Therefore, قريب becomes أقرب and جميل becomes أجمل. With comparative adjectives, you need to use the preposition من to compare the two nouns, as in بيتي أصغر من بيتها. My house is smaller than hers. In superlative, the most common method is to place the adjective before the noun, as in بيتي أصغر بيت في القرية. My house is the smallest house in the village. Please remember that the comparative and superlative forms of adjectives are gender blend. Therefore, أصغر can be used for feminine and masculine nouns as well. كان and her sisters. أصبح, بقي, ما زال, ظل, صار, ليس, which usually go with questional sentences. Leave the subject in its nominative case, but change the inflected predicate to the accusative case. For example, كان الأكل لذيذا. The food was delicious. ليس الأكل لذيذا. The food is not delicious. You know that questional sentences refer to the present time. The equivalent in past time is expressed by using the verb كان. We said earlier that كان and her sisters are used with the questional sentences. However, they can tolerate the use of verbs after them. That verb has to be in the present indicative form, as in كانت تعمل في مكتبها. She was working in her office. If the subject is expressed, it should be placed between كان and her sisters and the verb. For example, كانت الأستاذة تعمل في مكتبها. The professor was working in her office. An exception to this rule is when you want to topicalize the subject, and that simply means that you want to emphasize it. For example, الأستاذة كانت تعمل في مكتبها. Speaking Arabic like a native. Speaking Arabic like a native. In this section, I share a couple of tricks to help you focus
on pronunciation of difficult letters that, if you can master, are sure to make you sound like a native speaker. Here are some difficult letters and some related words you should familiarize yourself with. هاء حمراء red حسان man's name حوار conversation حزين sad عين عجيب amazing عزيمة determination عريض wide قاف قف stop قرد monkey قوس bow غين غرفة room غضبان angry غدا tomorrow. The difference between native Arabic speakers and non-natives is enunciation. If you can enunciate your letter clearly, particularly the more difficult ones, you will sound like you are fluent. Practice these words over and over until you feel comfortable repeating them really quickly and very distinctly. With practice, you will sound more like a native and less like someone who's just trying to pick up the language.